There's a claim that no other game in the world can make, and that is a full, true one-to-one scaled replica of Earth, Earth's digital twin. Whilst others have tried, none have come close to the unprecedented detail that we have in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that's something I've been saying for the past 5 years or so. It's not a new statement by any means. But here we are in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and there's a whole bunch of stunning locations that we can visit, not only by flying, but also via walking on foot. The trick though, of course, is finding them, and this is something I get asked a lot in various different comments on my videos. Where am I flying and how to find some of the stunning locations. In Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, there's a variety of different ways of doing that, and we're going to go through each of those in this video. First and foremost is using the world photography mode to try and track down a few locations that you may want to visit. And if MSFS 2024 is something you want to try out and you haven't had the chance to yet, then do check out the links in the video description, because it is available on a PC Game Pass, where you can try it out without having to buy it. And my thanks to PC Game Pass for sponsoring this video. So on screen right here, you can see that I've jumped into a World Photography menu and chosen a location in this specific case, Bard Fort. Now, I'm not going to jump into this location right here in this particular activity. Instead, I'm going to take this location at that specific area on the map, and we're going to use it in the free flight mode. So basically what we're doing is using the World Photographer mode to track down a location. Now, these are all preset locations, prearranged locations by Microsoft, and they really are lovely places indeed. And whilst they're really nice to explore in photography mode, they're also absolutely gorgeous to explore in free flight mode, where you can jump in, choose your own airplane, and well, choose your own flight path as well, and not really have to worry about those activities if you don't want to do them. So zooming in here on free flight mode, we've used the search box to actually locate Bard Fort, and we're just going to track down where we want to start our flight from. Just look how close we can zoom in on the world map there, and the amount of detail that is available. I'm going to right click there and choose a set departure. You may notice that my cursor is not quite aligned with the activities on the screen. That is nothing to do with the Flight Simulator, that is purely down to the way the capture software captured this particular video. And of course that is on PC, and as many of you will know, I do play Microsoft Flight Simulator on PC, and with that in mind, here's a few thoughts about PC Game Pass. So I've used PC Game Pass many times over the years, been a long time subscriber in fact, and in my opinion PC Game Pass is very good for PC gamers. It offers access to an extensive library of games for a budget friendly monthly fee. What's even better is that many new releases are available on launch day, so you can jump in to the latest titles without having to purchase them separately. Beyond the new games, there's a massive collection of existing PC titles to enjoy, and these are really quality games. And currently, in terms of the current releases, I'm playing Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and Stalker 2. And just for the sake of clarity here, these are PC-specific versions, not Xbox console editions, so this ensures that you benefit from all the perks of PC gaming, such as customizable graphic settings, higher frame rates, and the ability to engage in multiplayer gaming without needing additional subscriptions. Additionally, if you're a fan of multiplayer games, you can play cross-play on many of these games with your friends on different systems. Do check out the links in the video description for everything you need to know about PC Game Pass. So we're at the start of the flight here. This is the location. We can see the fort ahead that I found on World Photographer, but we're going to do a free flight through it. And whilst we're here, as you can see, we can adjust the time. I'm looking for nice lighting, a great atmospheric effect, and of course you can change the time of year. Look how that affects the trees. As we come towards fall and winter, the trees actually change, and then as we get back round to spring again, you'll see a lot of new growth here before the trees come back into their full summer appearance. Very nice touch here. Now ahead you can see the flight path that I set on the free flight main menu on the main map, and these UI elements can be very handy indeed, but also they can be switched off if you don't want to use them, so no worries there. And this is all down to the flexibility of how easy or how difficult you actually want your flight sim to be. Now just ahead we've got Fort Bard, and this is located in Italy's Aosta Valley. It's a historic fortress, and as you can see it's perched atop a rocky prominence which overlooks the Adora Baltea River. Surrounded by steep valley walls, it served as a strategic control point for the passage between Italy and France. Originally fortified in the 5th century, it was later expanded by the House of Savoy. It was rebuilt a few times over the years before finally being fully restored in 2006 and now hosts the Museum of the Alps. Now, moving on, we come to another location I've visited, again using the same world photographer principle here. I found the location Horseshoe Bend, and you can see it just in the distance there, and I'm now flying away from it over the stunning, beautiful landscape here. And as you can see, I set the time to sunset. Really, really stunning area. Now, on the other hand, if you don't want to rely upon the in-game world map and want to find a location that you know pretty well, and the search box inside the game doesn't provide you that location, you can go to Bing Maps. Find a location. I'm using Mount Kilimanjaro here, which is incidentally findable within the sim itself, but I'm using it here as a demonstration of how to use this method. So if there's a location in the real world, maybe it's nearby to you, maybe it's the name of your town, or maybe it's another area you visited on holiday, but it doesn't come up in the search box inside the sim, you can go to Bing Maps. Choose that location, search for it in the search box, and then right-click on it and click on the GPS coordinates, the longitude, latitude details here. Very, very straightforward and extremely useful. Useful because you can place those coordinates directly into the search box inside a Flight Simulator. I've pasted them there, and you can see that's taken me straight to the location in the sim. And again, this is Mount Kilimanjaro, which is easily findable in the sim, but you can use this for any coordinate, any location in the world that you desire. Just paste those coordinates straight in. Now, I'm going to choose a departure point here, choose the arrival point, and that will give me some location beacons in the sim that I can follow if I so wish. You can see the travel line on the right, MFD. You can also see us flying over one of the local airports here. And I tell you what, when I see a location like this, something that is a human-made structure, an airport runway, which is pretty large, and it's in such a wide open space, it really does make these areas feel absolutely vast, just totally massive. The airport almost disappears into insignificance once you're up at a certain altitude. Now, this flight was a little bit of a rough one for the Cessna 172 because obviously if you want to fly up Kilimanjaro, it does require a pretty steep climb if you're doing so up close. And whilst the Cessna can certainly do it, if you start climbing far enough away, it can be a little bit risky. But either way, I did successfully manage it here. Just look at that location, absolutely stunning. Now, one thing I've spoken about before that I really do like in this version of the sim is that you can land and, well, get out of the plane. Landing a Cessna 172 on the edge of Kilimanjaro, I certainly wouldn't recommend it, at least not in real life. But again, with the flexibility of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, you can add or remove to the difficulty of how you want your flight to work. And if you choose the appropriate settings, it means you can land more or less any plane in these sorts of locations. But if you're a bit more of a stickler for realism, you might want a more appropriate plane. Now, I'm going to go for a bit of a photo here, photo opportunity. My plane in the foreground, me standing there with Kilimanjaro in the distance, at least the peak, the summit of the mountain. Now, what really struck me here, and it's the first time I've landed on this area, is the absolute detail of some of the locations. These trees and bushes, they just got way more detail than I was expecting. Spectacular stuff, a real nice location to roam around. Now, if on the other hand you prefer to look at locations from our past, then you can do a lot worse than heading to Egypt and looking at the pyramids. Again, as I've used many times before, I'm here in the Joby eVTOL air taxi, and I use this primarily because 1, it's very easy to fly, and 2, it allows me to land seamlessly and without problem in more or less absolutely any location. Of course, I could do this in a helicopter, but I just find this so much more pleasurable to use. It really is a stunning aircraft. In fact, I'm pretty curious to see how this actually works when it comes to the real world and it finally starts taking people on their journeys for real. So, gentle touchdown there. We're going to leave the aircraft. You can see it there. Absolutely lovely looking thing. Reminds me actually somewhat, in terms of the cockpit at least, of the Ornithopter from the Dune series. At any rate, here we are. This is something you don't get to do in real life, is it? Fly a aircraft like that around the pyramids and get out and roam around. Incidentally, here I did have real-time weather on, and you can see some rather grim-looking well, dark clouds, smog, something off to the right in the distance there. I assume that's over the city, and rather nice blue sky above. Not to mention the really spectacular pyramids. Going to get up very close to these and have a close inspection, a close exploration. Of course, you're free to do this absolutely anywhere in the world. There's absolutely thousands of locations in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and if you're anything like me, you're probably going to spend a very long time checking all of these out. So, yeah, my thanks to you for watching this video all the way through, and my thanks to PC Game Pass for sponsoring the video. Do check out those links in the video description. Thanks again, take care, and I'll catch you next time.